Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got the cutest little paper pumpkin project to show you. And these cute little pumpkins are just made from little round circles. And I will show you how I've done them. I've done this one just in orange cardstock. And this one I've made with some little check pattern cardstock. And here's another one in this color. They just turn out so cute. And I'm going to put these on my fireplace mantle as a little decoration. So these can be made with just a few simple items. First up, you'll need a piece of cardstock, and like I said, you can do it in the traditional orange, or you can use a pretty piece of pattern paper. And then I've got a little strip of green I'm going to use, and a toothpick, some glue, and then I've also got some wet glue, some tacky glue that I'm going to use. And then my circle punch, and then a pair of scissors. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is come in and cut out 12 circles from this piece of orange cardstock. And if you don't have a circle punch, you can always just find something in your home that, you know, is the shape of a circle, about the size you want. This hole punch that I'm using is a 2-inch, but whatever size the pumpkin that you want to make from this is works out great. Let's see what I've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. That's what I need. So we've got that part done. The next step that we want to do is take each one of these and fold them in half. And you want to try to get the edges of these lined up as well as you can, because that's what's going to be showing on the outside here. So I'm going to just use this to come and crease along the edges. And I'm going to go through and fold each one of these. Okay, now that I've got all of these folded, I'm going to go through and cut off just about 1/4 of an inch, because if you'll notice on this, I've got this flat on the bottom because I want it to be able to sit straight up on my table. So I'm going to go through, let me grab my ruler, and I am just going to mark here 1/4 of an inch on one of them, close to. And then I'm just going to cut that off, and then I'm going to use this one as my guide for all the rest. And I'll just line it up and snip it off. So now I'm going to go through and do this for all of them, and we'll be right back. Got 2 left here. Snip these 2 off, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, got all those done. So now what I'm going to do is bring in a piece of glue paper. Whoops, I missed one there. Let's get that little guy too. All right, now I think I've got them all. So I'm going to come in with my Elmer's glue, just a stick glue. You can use hot glue, you can use your tacky glue, wet glue, whatever you want for this step. But my Elmer's glue seems to work pretty good, so I'm just going to glue one side, and then I'm just going to start lining these little guys one up on top of the other. And I just find a little spot on here that doesn't have glue and line it up. So if you do one side and not the other, you can just flip it over. And I'm going to continue doing this until I get all the way around. So I'll finish gluing this, and then we'll be right back. Glue this last one into place, and then I'll show you how we finish this off. Just stacked these all up here. Try to get them as even as we can. And press real good. So now you can see if we open that all the way up and pull it around, oh, we've got a little pumpkin. So what we want to do is end up attaching these last two. We're going to put glue on here, here and here, and that'll help seal that up. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and get my little stem on ready here, and then I've also got a little piece of like the vine I want to add to this one. You can add a little leaf if you'd like as well, but I've just got a little vine on mine. And I'm going to make that from this little strip of green paper. So I'm going to cut a piece. It's going to be pretty thin. I think that ought to do it. Cut that off. And then I'll grab out a toothpick. Move all my stuff over here. I'm going to grab out a toothpick. And these that I have, you know how some toothpicks are have the sharp end at both. This one happens to have just a dull end on it. So that's going to be the top of my stem. I'll put up in the air, and then I'll put this down. If you happen to have a sharp end on both, then just break it off. Or if you want for a stem, you can also just go out in your yard and find a little twig. These end up with a pretty thin hole in the middle, so you can probably even use like a leaf, you know, the little stem that comes down on a leaf can go in there for a while. Anyhow, to make this little vine be a curly vine, I'm just going to wrap it around my toothpick. And that'll give it the nice little curls. And they seem to hold pretty well. And then I'm going to leave a little end here just so I can glue that on to the inside of my pumpkin. I think I like that okay. So now's when I'm going to use my tacky glue. Knock everything over in the process. Alright, got the tacky glue, and I'm going to just put my stem, make sure I got my right end here. And I'm going to glue that little vine on there first. And he can be adjusted later. And then I am going to make sure I'm in. And then I'm going to just run some glue up and down through here, and then all over on this side, because this is what's going to seal it together. So before I do that, I'm just going to lay my toothpick right in the center, kind of down to the edges. If you can see that the edge is not coming out. So without getting my fingers completely glued, I'm going to close this little guy up. There we go. Bring that stem down through there well. And then because this is wet glue, I'm gonna hold this in place for just a few seconds to make sure it has attached well and lined up good on the edge. I'm gonna bring my vine in a little bit closer to that stem. There we go, I like that better. We'll open this up the rest of the way. And there we have it. We've got a nice cute little pumpkin. So that is all there is to these. I've had fun making them, and I think I'm going to make some in various sizes, just so it'll look kind of staggered when it's sitting on my fireplace mantle. But I think these are really cute, and if you end up making any similar to this, let me know in the comments. Or if you make a video similar to this, I would love to come and watch it. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye.